So moving off that subject now and getting on to like some of my favorite memories from the past shows that you did. I have a couple of questions about them.
Oh, here we go. Okay.
The Halloween specials were some of my favorite things to listen to growing up as a teenager and even as an adult then. There was some creepy stuff that happened on them shows. How much of that was real, Adrian, and how much of that was acting a bit of podge and Rog, acting the mick a little bit?
Okay, but the one that comes into my mind. Sorry, I'm getting into the car, Jamie, because it's absolutely Baltic out. The one that sticks in my mind most was when we did the show from the Hellfire Club, and during the show in the Hellfire Club, a dead goat's head fell out of the chimney.
I remember it perfectly. Yeah,
I remember it perfectly because it was the most rancid smelling thing I've ever smelled in my entire life. It was dead. It was rotting, and I was vomiting while. We don't know where that came from. It was nothing to do with us.
There's certain things we'll do for ratings, but killing an animal and stuffing in the chimney, I draw the line.
Not one of them. So that's the one I most remember, that dead goat's head falling out of the chimney, literally behind where our studio was set up. I also remember one of the very first shows we ever did down in Tullamore, the very start of the show. And we had our little studio set up in this haunted castle. And I had a chair that I had to sit on to start the show, sat down on the chair, and the whole chair collapsed at the very start of the show. And I remember the rope burns around your neck in Wicklow jail. Jamie,
I can say regarding those, I'm glad you brought that up, those rope burns. That was when I went into one of the jails in Wicklow jail. And when I came out, the girl that was videoing us, Jennifer was her name, her face went white when I walked out of the cell. And I said, this was live on the radio. I said, what's wrong? And she just kept going like that. And I thought she meant cut the show. And I says, what? And she says, look at your neck. And she turned the camera around so I could see my neck. And there was a rope mark going from there to there. And I have no reason to even lie about it now. I mean, it was 10 years ago, probably more. As God is my witness, that rope mark was real. I wouldn't have done that myself. If Adrian had said, here, wrap a rope around your neck and squeeze it tight for 10 minutes and be great for the radio, I would have told him to F off. You know what I mean? There's only so much I'll do. But that was 150% real. And, the thing about the Halloween shows was, we did them. They were entertaining. You either believe and buy into that sort of stuff or you don't. But I can tell you that was real. I can tell you that the animal coming down the chimney was real. And I can tell you that when we were doing seances, there was nobody moving the thing across the table, that was happening, and that the table was rocking of its own accord.
How did you not pack up and say, I'm getting the hell out of here? Well,
believe it or not, Jamie, during one of the shows live on air, Dave Kelly, who was the program director at the time in FM 104, rang us and said, take this show off the air. And that was after one of our tarot readers got stabbed. Don't ask me how. He was covered in blood. And Dave Kelly wanted to pull the show off the air that night. Now, we didn't pull the show off the air, but that's how it was. They're my favorite memories of all the years in the phone show as well, I have to say.
The Jamie J. Carr Podcast.